Hi everyone, it's Mark Sablos here, and I'm coming here today with my senior project presentation by way of distance learning. That's my Mr. Crass impersonation, so haha. And so basically my senior project was, I was gonna rehab my knee because I had ACL surgery last year and get it to where it's like strong as my other one, or maybe even stronger. So I feel like it is. I feel like it's really strong right now, and um, I originally was going to do a Tough Mudder, which is an 8 to 10 mile obstacle course race, and that got canceled, not because of coronavirus. It got canceled because their company kind of like went bankrupt, and they got bought out by the rival obstacle course race called the Spartan, and the Spartan kind of like canceled their meet basically, and they postponed it to a later day, which would have been out of the picture because like I needed senior project now. And so I was gonna do a alternative route. And what was that? So my alternative route was gonna be a trail race called Mount Diablo in Walnut Creek, and I felt like that would have been really interesting. I've never ran a trail race. I've never ran 13 miles before. I've never ran an obstacle course. So I feel like it would have been new to me. And so, yeah, I feel like my push, what was my push? Um, my push to me, jumping outside of a comfort zone. So the most I've ever um, ran before was maybe like, what, 3 miles? And it was hard. It was hard, but I got it done. And so basically, um, I just been training and running, going for runs. Like some mornings, I would go for runs and maybe like 5 miles, 6 miles, and I got it done, right? But I've never actually like put it all together into 13 miles until I did this. And so yeah, and at my dad's house, he has a treadmill, so I get on the treadmill a lot, and I'll just go for runs, just keep up my cardio. And then that way, like when I'm running, you know, I'm not getting all like huffing and puffing. My lungs aren't burning by the end. Like I'm feeling good. So I got to be in shape. And so for my senior project, what I did is I ran the distance of Old River Road. So I ran from um, Old Hopland at the store there, and then I ran 13.1 miles all the way to the store in Talmadge. And here are some clips. All right, hello class. So for my senior project, I'm going to be running from Old Hopland in the store, and then I'll be going all the way to the Talmadge store, which is approximately 13.1 miles, and we're going to get this done. So at this point, I was nervous. I've never ran 13 miles before. Just putting that out there. And I was also kind of excited because, like, I really wanted to get this done. Like, it was something new to me. And I feel like while I was running, the thought of running, like, past what I've done before, like, kind of got to my head a little bit. But after a while, once you get in a zone, you don't even really realize it. And it just becomes like a thing that you do, and I wouldn't say easy, but yeah.
Back here again. We're probably like a mile in, and by this like winery over here, vineyards, and it's gone pretty smooth so far. I'm liking this. My hair's getting all drop my headphone. Hair's getting all messed up from the wind, but I think it's fine. We got this.
All right, so the scenery was beautiful. Like, I liked that run. That road was beautiful. There was vineyards everywhere, flowers, trees. It was a cool run. And yeah, so let's get to the next video, which is 2 miles in.
Alright, so we're at 2 miles in, and I'm just keeping at a steady pace so I don't burn myself by the end. And it's going pretty smooth so far.
Yeah. So that one's the same. Like, I wasn't burnt at all, like burnt out, and I was feeling good. And so by mile 3, this is where it gets interesting.
Alright, so we're 3 miles in, still going pretty smooth. I'm just cruising alongside this road. And yeah, by some vineyards over here. And then if I'm right, I should be by a big field of like pear trees coming up pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah, so around mile 3, like, so I've driven on the road before, so like I kind of know, like, I tried to pinpoint like where some things were at, so give me like an estimate like how much longer I have. And so I remembered that there was like a field of like pear trees, right? And I happened to be right. So the next mile after that one, we came across them, or I came across them. And yeah, so
4 miles in, pear trees right there. And 9 more miles to go. We got this. I got my water as well. So I've been trying to stay hydrated if I'm not zoning out. And there's been a lot of cars. So I've been constantly like pausing my earplugs.
AirPods.
And like weaving in and out of the road wherever there's like a little space off the road where I can run. And I'm trying to do this safely and smartly. And I got this.
All right, so when I said safely and smartly, it was because the road was like really narrow, and off to like the sides of the road, there wasn't really like much places to run. So you would have to kind of like run on the road a little bit, and every now and then there was cars. So I would have to like step off the road or cross the road and just keep going. Or I would have to stop if there's 2 cars coming and like go off to the side of the road and just like wait for them to go by and then just proceed. So that's where we were at for that. And then here's 5 miles in.
I just checked Google Maps right now, and I'm 5 miles in. Whew. I thought that was gonna be way harder. It's just been really windy of a road, so I've been like keeping my awareness of cars. So it's going pretty good.
Yeah, so like at this point I was feeling pretty good actually, like physically wise, and I felt like my lungs weren't burning at all, like they were just going. I was in a zone. So I didn't even realize that like from maybe like mile 4 to 7, like it just went by like that basically. So like the first few miles it felt like they were taking forever because like it's a mile and like I wasn't in the zone yet. And then yeah, so at this mile that's what I was feeling. And then
Alright, so we're at the halfway mark.
yeah, so here's 6 miles in.
Alright, so we're at the halfway mark. Six miles in. Oh my god. My left ankle's starting to become a little bit sore. We're getting there though. It's fine, I'll push through. It's nothing. It's nothing. Let's go.
Alright, so off to the side of the road, it was like a little bit, I would say, uneven. So when there was cars coming, I would run off to the side of the road a little bit, and then it's kind of like a little decline kind of. So my ankle was kind of like landing at like a weird position kind of. So my ankle was starting to like get a little bit sore, but it wasn't hurting at all. It was just sore. And that's where we were at for that. And so for this video.
Alright, so there's like a little section right here, and I'm starting to go uphill a little bit. I feel like it's going to go down, but it's a little bit of an incline, and I feel like my calves working. I like it.
Yeah, so this is still at mile 6, like immediately after that 6 mile video, and this is where there was like a little hill, and or not necessarily a hill, but like the road was going up a little bit, so it was at like a little bit of an incline. So the way I pictured it is like if I was to do a trail race, right? This is like nothing compared to that, you know? And I was like in my head, I was like, push through this, like you can do it, and stuff like that.
Alright, so we're 8 miles deep, and
I was just doing a little jog.
long straightaway. It's been my first straightaway in a while, and there's like a vineyard and a pond over here. It's gone pretty good. I'm just glad I haven't seen a car in like close to 5-10 minutes, so that's good. I haven't like had to like get out of the road or anything, and it's gone pretty steady, honestly. We got 5 more miles to go, and then I'm ready to present to you.
Yeah, so like I was so happy that I finished like most of like the windy roads, and then I just had a big straightaway of just road, and it was pretty cool when you're running, obviously. And when there's no cars, it feels like you're just running, and I had my headphones on, so, and then there's just like music really got me through it. And at this point I was just taking like a little jog, like a slow jog kinda, and I was just trying to like gain a little bit more energy kinda, if that makes sense, like catch my breath a little bit. And yeah.
Alright, so I made it to this bridge at Talmadge, and I got 4 more miles, and then I'll be at the Talmadge store. We got this. I'm feeling good. Feeling very energized right now. I'm like pumped to finish. I'm so excited for this. Got this.
Yeah, I was just like super excited to finish, and like my adrenaline was like going super hard at this point. So I didn't even realize that how tired I was, if that makes sense. And I was just in the zone. I was running, and honestly, it felt pretty good to get out and run.
I'm now like 10 miles in, and we're on the final home stretch. And I should probably be done in like 25 minutes, I would say. So we're almost done. We got like 3 more miles to go, and then that's it.
It didn't take 25 minutes. It took like 35. But yeah, it took 35 minutes. And then
Alright, I'm 2 hours into my run, and I'm 11 miles deep. So we're on like the final stretch, the last 2 miles, and I'm starting to reach more houses, so I'm gonna be more careful, and we can do this. My goal is to get when I started was to get under 2.5 hours. So I believe I can do that, and we'll do that.
I was just telling myself, because like when you're by yourself, you gotta like kind of like push yourself, you know? And so I was like telling myself, well, if I have a goal, I'm gonna meet that, you know? So I'm gonna push myself. If I'm gonna be there by myself just running, no one's gonna be there to tell me like, hey, go harder, you know? So I figured if I told myself that, I can do it, you know? And I still wanted to be under that 2.5 hour mark. So I looked at the time, and I saw the time, and it was getting close, maybe like 30 minutes. But when you have like 2 miles to go, at how many miles you ran, it's not going to be a fast time, you know? And so let's go to the next one.
I'm 2 hours into my run, and I'm 11 miles deep. So we're on like the final stretch, the last 2 miles, and I'm starting to reach more houses, so I'm gonna be more careful, and we can do this. My goal when I started was to get under 2.5 hours. So
We already watched this one. I just realized that.
we'll do that. All right, so we're 12 miles in. Got 1 more mile, and I feel like I could get it done under in 10 minutes. So 2.5 hours. Trying to get under that. Let's do it. Almost done.
So what I meant by like get it done in under that 10 minutes, I was at 2 hours and 20 minutes at this point. So my goal was 2:30, right? So I was gonna try to get it under a 10-minute mile. And there was a lot of houses, cars, windy roads, so I had to be extra careful. There was a lot of cars. I said hi to a few bikers, so that was pretty cool. They actually said hi to me. And yeah, so we did that. And then here is the last clip.
All right, so I said I'd do it in 2 hours and 30 minutes. I made it. Finished 13 miles in 2.5 hours.
So I got it done at 2 hours and 30 minutes, maybe 2 hours and 31 minutes, but like basically it's 2.5 hours, you know? And I was proud of myself when I did this, and I really feel like it really helped me mentally. Like, when you don't think you could do something beforehand, and then you go out there and do it, and then you finish, you're gonna feel good about yourself. So it really made me feel like I did something. And so that concludes my senior project, and let's go.